Groove us, give a big, big round of applause. Stomp your feet, click your fingers, clap your hands, and welcome our final guest poet. It's the wonderful Just Ori!
Okay, buenos noches. All right, so basically, this first poem I'm going to do, has anyone seen the film 10 Things I Hate About You? So as you can imagine, it's going to be a diss track. So, start of the year, this is when this situation kind of unfolded. Anyway, band, you guys, whatever you want to do, you can do. In English, we say, you gave me butterflies. In Spanish, we say, haces que sienta mariposas en el estómago. In poetry, that's, you would make the realm beneath my solar plexus a wild place with thornberries and thought to be endangered species. Like songbirds and like lovebirds. I never really loved birds, yet suddenly bountiful and boundless, you turn me Jumanji. Feelings I couldn't fathom, even imagine, stomping around beneath my breastplate. I hate that you released those beasts, invasive species, into my habitat. I never babysat, just sat across from me. You with no plan for what to do with them, and me never asking you for your credentials. How credulous, just assuming you were some sort of conservationist, environmentalist. How presumptuous, presumptuoso. I hate that you were learning Spanish on Duolingo. So 21 countries and their 474 million speakers remind me of you. I hate that you've got me Googling statistics. I hate that you live in some other city and not mine. I hate that you think I don't get trims often enough. I hate that you're probably with him as I'm writing this, cuddled up. I hate that you've got my feelings all muddled up. I hate that you wanted me to double down. These times you had doubled up. I hate that you probably speak to him in the headphones I bought you. You must do, unless he's bought you others. Look at me, suffers, crying over spilt from others. Mothers, I miss your weight of warmth adorned under quilt and covers. Under covers, now it's our mission. Mission is you missing my gold finger. Cause I'm the man with the golden gun who will never say never again. I hear that you're probably never gonna get those references. Teeth kissing, 007. Now I'm baked off, no flour, no flowers and summers. I hate that no one's ever gonna know that we was lovers. And I hate that there's nobody my phone see me speak to as often as you. So every time I use this thing, you're suggested. On Instagram, it's DMs. On TikTok, it's stories. Even on photos, it's moments. I hate that you changed my God's name like Romans. 13th day of October. I was meant to meet you at the MoMA. I hate that I introduced you to my ma and her one and my dad's one that they're going to ask about you. I hate that you made me Ted Mosby, made you mixtape, made you playlist, carefully curated 63 of my favorite songs about love. Because that's how I would feel when I would look at you. Like Tidra Moses to Snow Allegra. Like that's how I would feel when I would look at you. From Tidra Moses to Snow Allegra. Like thoughts of you rule my world, I even dream of you, I swear. Like, there's something about the way you stare into my eyes. I fall for you every time I try to resist you. Like, when we first met, I was surprised to get that feeling. What you do is crazy, babe. Not like you belong in an asylum, crazy, babe. Like the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Like the rain falling from the sky, etc., etc. I would sing you Jill Scott. I hate that all those songs of love that are now forever died in the hue of you. I hate that one of my close friends and one of your close friends are the same person. So I'll see you every June at the minimum. I hate that. Eventually you'll start bringing him. It'll go from is Kimi no Nawa coming 2. An invite for you is an invite for you and him, my bad. Not Kimi no Nawa, Su Nombre. I got our Duolingos confused. Speaking of Duolingo, I hate seeing your achievements. Kinda burn seeing your 50-day streak when you put our streak on freeze. I hate that I cried the night you told me. Face mutant, looking at the ceiling, wasn't sure what I was feeling. Hours ago, I was highest key on piano, steady recessing to the alcoves. No appetite apparently, cause I ain't 8 since 7. I felt 6 since 5. Face mute emotionless by the gallows, heart beating by the gallons, heart beating by the gallops, just rivers by the gallons, streaming from my eyes. I hate that you knew. I hate that you knew you had decided it was irrefutably over and just watched me try to get you back. Just giggled at me. Smirk stood still on your face in Smile's clothing as if the wolf just turned around. Asked for the time, 2:58 where you left me. Still, standing still, stuck in mud, spent cement, musical statue set in stone, back to henge, dating www dots. Took 2 L's, all I done for you, but I guess you thought more fool you, but you sure fooled me. I hate that I fell for you, such a fool like the leaves in November. I hate what I feel for you, but I'ma play it cool, such a classic pretender. I hate what I felt for you, them tips from school won't help this adventure. Hate that I felt, hate that I feel, hate that I felt. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, hate the way that you dress. Nah, I'm playing. I hate that I have more than 10 things to write about, but mostly, I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even a little bit, not even at all. Thank you very much, thank you very much. Okay, it is mad hot on this stage, guys. You know. Okay, I'm gonna bring the mood down a tiny bit. I've got this poem, I've been here before actually, by the way, spoiler alert. And I had this poem called Love Language. And then what I done is I wrote a part 2. So this is gonna be Love Language part 2. So once upon a time, I was talking to this girl and she asked me about this poem called Love Language, like, why do you call it Love Language, blah, blah, blah. I really wish I brought my drink, but who cares? So what I told her was, where I'm from, we drip from fresh kicks. That's hearts on our ankles. Never know who might tug, so only keep our ice on sleeves. Always thankful for the opportunity to hide high-rise histories behind dunk lows. Love language. We come from parents who seldom forgot to inflict the wound, but rarely remembered to afford the bandage. But words first learned in my mother's voice are still love language. Pain feels the same on my fingers, fidgets different through my toes. Flick of the wrist might have chose the road, but often hereditary habits pick the path. We come from shattered glass and shit, always in pieces when we spend our time, peppered all over our past and shit. We know they'll make us cry, but we still never passed in flicks, coming from past and quit. Now we rehearse our pain on stages, waiting for our echoes to pass them clicks. Love language. She asked me if mine is quality time, as if I planned this. Her spine at just past 9, just about obtuse. Hands on 4s at 4, at 8. Me lining action up and down a hypotenuse. Then her period's late. Great. Flashbacks to Tony Tiger, I would only have Frosties at my dad's. It's mad car, I was my Mars late period. Maybe my life was my parents' trap. Then that trap grew to a boy, at no more than 6. Stood on the lonely side of our bathroom door. Her sat somewhere on the other side of it. Almost felt like visitation, as if she was in for a long bid. And maybe I was its beginning. And that windowless room with crack in its sink was the most freedom she could afford. Her escape from the closed clauses of our circumstances. Bathroom door, locked like full stop. Fixed in time like judge's decree. Alone yet a meter away, I couldn't even watch. Door served as a brick wall over the bay. 27 to the rest of her life. I felt trapped too. 1994 to the rest of mine. I guess we were both looking at that wood in that frame. That full stop from different sentences. Love language. She said love is nothing without trust. I tugged her sleeve as I agreed. So she asked if it's physical touch. I told her physicals must, even if relationships jaded. Ain't no ifs, buts, well maybe my parents taking turns to be concepts. Spectres on respective weekends or weekdays isn't completely unrelated. Like my dad didn't exist on Wednesdays, unless it was summer. And my mum didn't exist on Saturdays, ever. Not really, just a concept. Now one week in the day and week at the end of it. Maybe even have to tug at their sleeves simultaneously would have ended it. Love language. In my younger days, sometimes I would act off service. Didn't matter if I knew I couldn't do it. And even now I haven't stopped. So I kind of expect her to do the same. Because lessons I learned from life from 5 taught me love is responding valiantly to unreasonable requests. At least love when it's at its best. Knowing I was one of 2 children living in a solo parent home wasn't enough to get my dad to get his act together. More time he would just act of service. But play pretend doesn't pay the bills. We had our boiler on chill, heating on freeze. Providing was lax, I was hoping for a lapse in inconsistency, like sitting on knees. But maybe he was going through his own shit. Maybe he felt like Nightshade, Cosmic Curtain, and thought closest would muffle his son. Maybe he heard the best way to show your love is to hide your heart. Maybe someone told him if you water your seed, you'll realize there are demons in the flower. Despite needing the petals, he couldn't see the breadcrumbs for the lies. Hansel and Gretel was his demons that led him there. Yeah, fair. Maybe he didn't want to give me the wrong idea. Didn't want to risk it, pretending at distance. But what takes the biscuit is still play pretend doesn't pay the bills. Umi was doing alright, but she was in credit. I wish he would have rehearsed those direct debits instead of acting in cursive. He couldn't answer. Flash forward to cancer, hospital visits, he was going through nurses. I would curse his fate, even when he couldn't mutter my name or muster an echo of his legacy to remember my face. Somewhere inside of me, I would always whisper he deserved it. Through all the adult responsibilities he forced on me to fall between all the teens. The answer to the question was he left me a lot to pick up. I learned the only way to not just act of service is even if it's too much, never act your service. She already knows she asked my acts if I often act out acts of service. Love language. When it comes to gifts, there's a lot to unpack. Giving is one thing, but I know receiving just isn't mine. My last love brought me a star, I never looked at it. Even if my love is burning a flame light, I'm sure I don't deserve it. Even if she brought breath and I had just lost my lungs, I would hoard her air till the dust settles in its shadow and figure a way to breathe with something else. Receiving gifts just smells too much like receiving help, and receiving help always felt too much like a blessing. And I still feel like a curse to the ones I love, which poses the question, are curses deserving of blessings? It never stopped being recession in my house. We never gave gifts, couldn't even trap a mouse with cheese. So when she asks what she can get me for my birthday, I tell her I'm yet to figure a way to stop it feeling like a sin to receive. Love language, A for anguish, never any props that I pay for bandwidth. I was making Jamaican bread so my sister could know the sandwich. I even let them bum my cheese. Geez, I do so much behind the scenes and leave without the applause. Pause, the effect is better, my beneficiaries aren't in debt to my kindness. So in lasagna, I just move in silence to the tune of silent admiration. And what's worse than words of affirmation to a self-loather yet to share his sins? I've sorted herds of adulation, I've gilded birds for decoration. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 4 for the boy. Last word I remember my dad saying was sorry. When he died, my mum told me to stop blaming myself. My granddad told me not to cry, and I didn't tell my friends. Somewhere along the line I convinced myself not to convey my hurt was the best way to convey my love. So I move in silence like the P in receipt, like the A in critically, like the I in business, like the N in autumn. Somewhere between all the pitter-patter of rain, all that silence spells pain. I win in silence, I weep in silence, I hate in silence, I love in the same. My mother taught me how to hold my tongue so well I forgot how to let go. In my mind there were echoes of things she said to hurt my heart. Burned, I've nothing left to affirm. Then this honey asked, if you're a poet, how come you got communication problems? I said, baby, that's what I'm a poet. To me it's just easier to suffer and write it down, rather than conversations with the painful. I collect all my trauma in sleep and relive nightmares. I even hoard silence in dreams, and the words in my mind already affirm all of these beliefs. Love language. Through our parents we learn how to love, whether we're gonna rise in or bow to love, later or now to love. I've been writing this page for miles. One could argue a person's love languages are the things they scribbled as a child. Make notes of ways to do and don't and ought to seem. Emotionally, I'm operating, living outside my means. And man, I just love women too much, you see. But my real problem is too much was never enough for me. I've got a sex addiction. I gotta like it when they text addiction. I gotta like it when they stretch addiction. I gotta like it when they send me them exhibitions. Because if I can make her feel good on the inside, it doesn't matter how I feel on the inside. As long as she tells me she loves my bandwidth. Those words of hers, I just really love language. Thank you.
Groovers, give it up for the wonderful Just Story! So that's it, that's the first half, people. You've had all our guest poets.